Hi guys, Arissa Dia here, and I am back with a very exciting and very special Otomania video. I am recording this on March 20th, which is Takeru Tatsuka's birthday from Kamigami no Asobi, and as many of you guys, if you've been following this channel or know me personally, know, he is my anime husband. And every single year I try to do something special to celebrate his birthday. Mainly it involves eating some sort of sweet and watching his specific episode of Kamigami no Asobi. And last year I actually got the chance to make a cake, except I did not have most of my cake making stuff because I love to decorate cakes, but I didn't have most of my materials, and so the cake kind of came out pretty bad. But this year I'm really excited. I have all the materials that I need, and I'm actually not going to be making a typical kind of cake. I am going to be making Mizu Shingen Mochi, or as it's known in English, the raindrop cake. And I'm super excited. It's something that I can't really decorate a whole lot with, but I do have a cool design in mind. And I'm super excited. I thought it would be very fitting because this is more of a traditional Japanese dessert that's kind of inspired by water, and Takeru is essentially supposed to be Susanoo, who is the Japanese god of sea and storm. So I thought Japanese water type treat would be perfect and very fitting for his birthday, and so I'm going to be trying that. This is the design that I'm kind of going to hope for, and we're gonna see if it works out. But for this, I am going to be showing you guys me making and trying to decorate, and then the final product and tasting. And for this, I'm going to be using the recipe by Emmy Made, and it also asks for like a black sugar syrup, so I'm going to be using Babsie's Home Cooking brown sugar syrup recipe, and I will leave links to both videos in the description below, so if you guys want to test it out, go for it and let me know how it goes, because I'm super excited to try this. And so let's get into it. Okay, so first I added the water, and with the recipe I suggested in the intro, actually had too much water, so off camera I ended up making a second batch using a different recipe, which will also be linked below, that just used less water, so it ended up setting a lot better than the first batch did. But you essentially just add the water, the sugar, and the agar powder, and then you put it on a medium to high heat, and you kind of just let it boil and kind of mix it very slowly until it's all dissolved. And this honestly did not take very long to do. I only had it on the stove for maybe like 5 minutes tops. It was very quick. And then you really want to move fast with it because you don't want it to set, because it is very gelatiny because of the agar powder in it. So you just kind of want to let it kind of start to boil but not fully boil, and then move very quickly. And you don't want to mix it too much because that can kind of mess up how it sets. But it was very quick, but also kind of tedious because you had to make sure it wasn't burning and it was all mixed in. And I kept confusing the bubbles for like the powder, thinking it wasn't dissolved. But you're going to want to let it start to boil. You can kind of see the bubbles at the very bottom. And then I moved very quickly back to the other side, and I sprinkled some edible gold flakes at the bottom because I thought that would be a really cute touch, because Takeru has some gold eyes, so I thought that would be really cool. And then I added some blue food coloring because like his hair is blue, his color is kind of blue, and also like water is blue. So I thought it would just be like a really cool touch. And so I added that, and I did end up having to kind of like try not to spill everything. With this, I would definitely suggest putting a tray or a plate under your molds, because I did not do that. and also making sure that you have more molds than you originally planned. Like, I ran out of space, so I had to, at first I grabbed a bowl, but then I remembered I had a different mold that was bow-shaped, and sadly they didn't come out, partially because this batch didn't set, but also the shape of it was so hard to get out that what parts did set did not come out and like keep the shape easily. But I would definitely recommend putting them on some sort of plate, because I filled them up very high and then we went to move them, and because it's silicone and it's a soft silicone, it did not move very well, so we kind of like attempted it and didn't work, and so we got them onto plates and trays, and then we put them in the fridge. The first batch we had in the fridge for about 2 hours and it didn't set properly. The second batch was in the fridge for maybe a half hour and it set perfectly. So I definitely think the first batch was way too watery, but the second batch we got it. Then I started on the brown sugar syrup, which was very, very easy. It was a bit time consuming because I didn't want to burn the sugar, and it did kind of turn out a bit too watery, and I don't know if it's because I had to do a 1-to-1 water to sugar ratio, or if it's because I used light brown sugar instead of a black brown sugar. I don't know if there's really a difference, but I did not have black or like dark brown sugar. I only had light brown sugar, so I don't know if the properties were different. But essentially, I just kind of cooked it on a low heat until it came to a rolling boil, or a roaring boil. I guess either works. And then I put it back into just the cup at the end once it was really boiled. And it took a while to get it up so high to that boil, just because you don't want to burn the sugar because it caramelizes so quickly. So I was slowly bringing up the heat. It tastes very good though, but it was definitely way too liquidy. But I just kind of went and transferred it back to my measuring cup. And then I put it in this bottle and I started on the design. And so my plan was to use the brown sugar syrup to kind of draw Takaru and kind of like write happy birthday and stuff. And with the recipe that I had watched, it definitely looked like it was thick enough to do. But in me trying it with both the squirt bottle and with just like doing a spoon and dipping, it was way too liquidy. With the spoon, I did get much better shape. As you can see, I do actually get most of him done, but it was way too hard to do, and it like wasn't holding the shape. It was kind of getting everywhere. With the pattern on the plate, it was really hard to just kind of see what the actual design was. But the spoon did work much better, so if you ever want to try this and you did have too much of like it was too watery, like, you can still do a design, but like it's definitely not worth it. So because the syrup did not work out and I really wanted to do a design, I ended up just using some regular like icing that we had. And so I'm using an icing gel. I had actually started it before my sister started recording because I wanted to test it, and then she like came over with the camera and I was already like halfway done with his face. But it worked much better, mainly because it's made for like drawing and stuff like this. So it definitely held the shape much better, and I actually am really proud with how it came out. Like, he doesn't look exact, but I think for me, quickly winging it, like, he didn't come out too bad. I did forget his tie, and I did mess up on 2 kanji, one of which is his name. So if you look right now, I'm actually writing his name in Japanese, and I actually missed a line. There's supposed to be a line in between like the first two that I drew and then like the first like horizontal line. There's supposed to be another line in there, and I kind of messed it up because I wasn't really looking at the reference picture that I had drawn. But other than that, I only messed up one other time, and the other time was like so small that nobody really noticed. But for my first time actually doing like kanji and icing, I don't think it came out too bad. And this is the other one where I messed up. Essentially, the vertical line is just supposed to get a little bit higher, so it's much less noticeable than like his name. But I'm actually really proud. I've never written in kanji using icing, and like same with like the hiragana. The hiragana came out really, really good, and I'm very proud of that. But yeah, for me quickly winging it, I'm pretty proud of how it came out. And then I had gold, and so I wanted to do the gold for his eyes, but it was very runny for some reason, and so his one eye got a little bit messed up. And I also realized in watching this over that I forgot to draw his tie, so he is missing his necktie, but oh well. And then next I went with the kanako powder, which is roasted soybean flour, and I wanted to shape it into hearts. Originally, I was going to use heart-shaped cookie cutters as kind of like a mold, and then I found out that I didn't own heart-shaped cookie cutters, so I just kind of dumped it in a pile and then shaped it using a spoon, which actually worked surprisingly well. Like, it didn't take too long to do, and some of them definitely came out much better, but for just shaping it with a spoon, it definitely like looks like a heart, especially that first one. The first one I think came out the best, and the other two I kind of had to like flatten a little bit to shape, but I was pretty proud of how it came out, given that I had to like use a spoon to just shape it instead of like having a like an actual mold to use. So I was really proud of how that came out. And then I wanted to still like incorporate the brown sugar syrup in a way because it is like a part of the dish. So I did put a little bit down to where I wanted to actually set the mochi down, and you have to be very, very careful when you're taking them out of the mold. They are so slippery that you will see like in this next one, when I go to pop it out, it actually splits in half when I try to pop it, and it's like very like small, but it like kind of like broke in half. And so you have to be very, very careful because they are so delicate and so slippery. And they don't always pop out right. Like that one ended up like missing a chunk out of it, and I wanted to like use the prettiest. And this was out of the second batch, so this is the batch that actually came out working well. And so they were really, really cool, and I'm proud of how it turned out. And now we go on to the tasting. Okay, so now that we're done, we get to try it. I am going to try it with plain, with the kanako powder, and with the brown sugar syrup. So let's see. Oh, it's very jelly. Okay. It just tastes like water. There is a bit of sweetness, but I can't tell if it's from the little bit of brown sugar syrup I put at the bottom or if it's the actual sugar we put in it. But it's not bad. It literally just tastes like straight up water. But we're gonna try it with the kanako powder next. Oh god. destroy this part? We're just gonna, yeah. We cannot go powder. You know, this is why I can't have these things. Whoops. Well, it wouldn't be a Marissa taste test video if something didn't go wrong. Well, let's try it. So this should taste kind of like peanut butter and water. I don't know if I like that combination. Like, it doesn't taste bad, but having like powder with something very like liquidy was very weird texture wise. Taste wise, not too bad. Overwhelmingly still water, but texture wise it was like dry powder versus like the moistest thing I've ever had. Now we're gonna try it with the brown sugar syrup. Yeah, fill the spoon. Bottoms up. Much better with this. Still watery, but like this is also watery, but much better because you mainly taste the brown sugar. So overall, I'm happy. It took 2 tries, but you know, we nailed the second try. It's definitely correct because these are already melting and we've only had them out of the fridge for like 5 minutes. But it didn't get the exact effect that I wanted with the gold. I kind of was hoping that the gold would kind of like swirl in and be at different levels. It kind of just all sunk at the bottom, but it still looks really, really cool. So overall, I'm proud. We had to take lots of different routes to get where we needed to be, but in the end, I nailed my plan. We did have to switch out the brown sugar syrup, but it looks like my picture, god damn it. I am proud. So Takaru, Tanjoubi omedetou gozaimasu. Happy birthday. I hope I did you proud. Woo. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think, if you guys have ever tried to make this, or if you want to make this, if you guys have ever done anything for your anime husband or waifu for their birthday. Let me know because I'm pretty sure I'm the only person who does this. Don't forget to like and subscribe and to hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I release more fun videos on my channel. And Otomania comes out every other Monday, so keep a lookout for that. I hope you guys all enjoyed, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Love you. Bye.